Welcome to Finding Your Way with Lori and Tanya. I'm Lori.
I'm Tanya.
So today we're going to talk about creating healthy boundaries. So, it's scary and it's a little uncomfortable. We teach people how to treat us, and so those times, the kind of people like we are, where we give a lot, whether that's in our relationships, at work, just in life in general, we're givers, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to be giving and kind. But sometimes it can be taken advantage of, or sometimes you're doing it from a place that's not quite pure.
Right.
You're doing it out of obligation, or like you feel a sense of responsibility, and then you're resentful for doing it. And so, to really look at your intentions behind
Right.
giving, and also this whole concept of, if we teach people how to treat us, why does sometimes we let people run all over us? Do we need to create some boundaries there?
And I think that creating boundaries in every relationship that you have, in every aspect of your life, is really important. I think that for me, I'm an overgiver. I'm a classic overgiver. I will do and do and do, and it feels good, but not too long ago, it didn't feel good because I didn't know about boundaries. I didn't know about setting boundaries. I didn't know what that was. So until we started doing this work, and I realized that I was doing it as a martyr. I was doing it as a place of sacrifice. I was doing it because it was expected, but I had created that expectation because I didn't have boundaries. So my children expected certain things from me that were doable, but with all the other expectations, there were things that I needed to set limits on and boundaries on for my mental health, for my physical well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely every relationship, whether it's your children, your spouse, your loved one, your mother, your boss, there are boundaries to be set.
Yeah, I'm a classic do more than your fair share at work. Always have been my whole career. I just do more than most people would do in my position. And so, what I found over the years is, because I'm that way and people know that I'm that way, you get more with no more compensation. And so, what do they say? Find a busy person. That's who can help you. That busy person will take on more and do. And that's been me. That's been me for forever, it feels like. And so, it is, and it's difficult. And I don't know that I've achieved this yet, of setting those healthy boundaries, but, it is being aware of it, being aware that maybe you're letting people abuse your kindness a little bit, abuse your skill, and sticking up for yourself a little bit, and setting those boundaries.
And sometimes it's easing into it. It's not looking at someone and saying, you know what, that is not going to do anything for me. I'm not participating in that event. I'm not even going to that event. So, if it's something that you've done before, you've always done, it's a huge expectation, it may not feel good to just totally cut it off, but cut your part of what you do off. Say, I can help with this. I can't plan the whole thing, but I can help with this part. This is the time I can spend. So creating that and backing out of some of that can be very helpful.
Mm-hmm. And so I'd say also be careful about the other side of it. So I know for me, in my life, sometimes I've set so many boundaries that it's almost like a wall that people can't penetrate. And so, it is this tricky little thing of setting appropriate boundaries.
Use your intuition.
Right.
Use your gut.
Right.
What feels good.
So it is. Yes, if you feel like you are on this path where you feel like a rug that people are walking all over, or you feel disrespected in a way, really look at that of how, why do people feel like they can treat you that way? What is your role in that?
Right. And then start backing out of it. And I think that a lot of times, I've done that in several, with some of the activities that my boys do. I was the first one to raise my hand. I would take on this, I would take on that. And now I've taken a step back and I've picked a couple of functions that happen at this activity, and I said, okay, I like this one. I'll agree to help with this, or this resonates with me, or this makes me feel good, or this is my talent. So absolutely, I'm on board with this one because it feels good and it's easy for me. And then there are some that I'm hands off, and I even go into some of the functions.
But they still go on, don't they?
Right.
Oh, it didn't fall apart. It didn't fall apart without her there.
And I found that because I've asked my children, I'll say, hey, I'm not going to go to this. Is that okay? And they'll look at me and say, I don't care, Mom. And if they feel strongly about it, if they say, no, I really want you there, then I go. And guess what? Now I feel good about it because they really want me there. But there's been so many times that I've been to things that they didn't care. And I thought, gosh, I had so many other things to do. I could have been home doing some self-care. But instead, I was the martyr, right? And I didn't set the boundary because I'm an overgiver. So I think that we can reel that in, and we can do it in every aspect.
Yeah, because there is such a thing as setting healthy boundaries. So it is what is best for you. Like
Well,
what is best for you and your health and your well-being.
And one of our mentors, and we love this saying. This I'll tell you, one of the first times I've heard it was one of the first retreats that we went to. And when she said it, I looked at Lori and I was like, oh my God. But if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. I mean, how profound is that? If it's not a hell yeah, I got to do it, it's a no. How many times are we not doing the hell yeses? How many times are we doing the things that just don't feel great?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to that being a martyr. And I know, I've run across a lot of martyrs. I've probably been one in my life. And it's not really serving people, and especially if you truly are a giver. Usually you're a giver because you want to be a servant. You want to be a good person and give and come from that place of love. And if you're doing it like the classic definition of a martyr, that's not really serving.
Right. Well, and sometimes we're doing it and we're not asking for what we want in return. And I think I'm very well known for getting in trouble in relationships for that. So I do and I do and I do. And the expectation is something gets done for me. If I'm doing all these things, that means you're going to do this or that for me. But I never communicate what I want in return. And then I'm upset or angry or my feelings are hurt because I've done all these things. And one, I wanted appreciation. I mean, who doesn't want a little pat on the back or I love you or thank you so much? But two, I want someone to have an action that is helpful to me. But sometimes I don't allow it. And again, it's about a boundary. I don't allow them to help me. So I have to open that up a little bit too and say, okay, this is what I want in return. So I've set the boundary that if I do this, then this is what I want in return. Most of the time they are relieved that there is something that they can return. And then I'm not angry that I've overgiven again and haven't gotten what I wanted.
Yeah, so it's that balance. It's that balance of giving and receiving. And if one of them's you're giving more than the other or you're receiving more than the other, either way, if the balance scales are tipped one way or the other, it really leads to feelings of just not good feelings. And so it is recognizing the boundaries that you have. Are they healthy? Are they allowing that balance of giving and receiving?
Right.
Yep.
So just take a minute and think about your relationships. Think about your job. Think about your commitments. Think about the things in your life and where are you telling people how to treat you? Where are you teaching people to treat you not how you want to be treated? Where have you allowed it? And then where can you start creating the boundaries? Again, it doesn't mean you cut everything off. It just means you start saying no. You start saying half. You start saying a fourth, and you start backing up so that what you do feels good, and those things are a hell yeah, and everything else is a no. When you start living from that place of a hell yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, and another part of that is when you're making that transition to where you are starting to tell people no, that whole thing of it's not against you, it's for me, and people are usually pretty understanding about that.
And that resonates with people. Yeah. So it's a great way to put it too. Hey, it's not against you. It's for me. This is my new boundary because it makes me feel better. It makes me healthier mentally, physically. You don't have to explain.
No.
You can absolutely just say this has nothing to do with you. It's not against you. It's for me. It's in service to myself. So
That's right.
good. Well, hey, listen, we hope this helps. Please look at areas that you can start setting boundaries for yourself. I promise it'll be a game changer. If you liked this video, if you felt like this was helpful, please subscribe to our page. Please share this with others that you think would benefit from our insight and experiences. We also have a great Facebook page. It's called the Positive Vibe Tribe. Jump on Facebook, join us there. It's always great. Every single day somebody posts. There's hundreds of posts daily that'll follow up in your news feed a couple of times with something positive. So there's always a great nugget there as well.